That's too bad. You know, kind of. What's beautiful about this run is that, well, we didn't get Spider, so we can't absolutely nuke everything with OTR Ignite Poison. This is probably actually still a blessing in disguise because we do use Ice Magic. And Snakes, a little bit weak to the Ice Magic side of things. Specifically, we'll be slowing them down even further than their already glacial pace. Which I'm sure they would not appreciate my use of cold-based verbiage to describe it, but it's definitely fitting. All that to say that we should be in a pretty fantastic spot. But you are going to be a problem child, so we will have to use a wand to just finish off our wonderful Sky Shark there. Not a fan of Sharknadoes here. Definitely inclement weather to say the least, but again, not too bad. And you know, even thinking back to our other desires for our S branches, hoping for shoals, because Ignite Poison does some fun things in shoals. It allows you to kind of roast everyone up from the inside as you are poisoning them and dealing damage in the more conventional fashion. So it's generally pretty fantastic. But Swamp, not too bad either. More poison-resistant enemies, but again, lots of reptiles. So, Cold, still kind of sick nasty, still kind of does the trick at the end of the day. And, okay, let's be slightly cautious of our blinky boyfriends here. Excuse me. If you could just succumb to the poison. Look inside yourself, you know it to be true. Yeah, Snake Spider was going to be okay either way. Swamp would be unfortunate a little bit, but again, I'm optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic. That's not even true. I'm naively full bore optimistic. We're being honest with ourselves, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm sure that we'll breeze through all of our runes, because when have we ever in the past struggled with anything really, you know? So what it all boils down to, we fortunately have some cold resistance for dealing with our buddy there. And hopefully that's a large chunk of this floor taken care of. Our first cane toad. Why, hello there. So again, cane toads, snakes, all these sons of guns are what make Lair slightly less of an OTR free-for-all, or at least like a complete paradise for our poison castings here, but fortunately does a good enough job, or we have other tools for those specific use cases, and otherwise the rest of you can get blown away for all I care, which I do believe just aired, what, like season 4? Any glassblower enjoyers in the audience? It's funny, as somebody who has done a decent amount of glass blowing, in fact, this bad boy right here, one of my own creations, I've surprisingly have not seen very much of Blown Away. Though it is funny, I did actually meet one of the contestants from season 1 and heard a bit about the behind the scenes, which is always funny on any kind of reality show, especially competition based ones, because obviously there are some interesting things that go on behind the scenes in order to make entertaining television, or at least someone's definition of entertaining television, a reality. So that was always very interesting to me. I would like to blast you off the stairs. Oh, what am I doing? Sir, you're not in a spot I can blast you. Oh no. Oh no, we're in trouble. Oh, we need MP in order to use any of our god abilities. That's good to know. We also did get access to another one. Oh, we're able to torment folks now? Why didn't you tell me? Yikes. So we could turn ourselves into a tree. That at least brings up our armor class to to a decent point here. Doesn't mean I can't teleport out of here, but we have no blinking. A teleport scroll would be unwise, I would say, when we're sitting at 0 magic and just above half health. So, as much as I may not live to regret this, I think we'll drop there. Ooh, yeah, especially with the steam. That's going to be a problem. You, sir, join me. And that's one taken care of. If we can get some poison with our staff, and then we could always ignite it if and when push comes to shove. Ooh, no, actually, change of plans. If you pivot. Sir, head this way, please. Oh, and I am no longer friends with our swamp dragon pal there. Just need to check my phone real quick. Well, we've at least recovered a decent amount of our MP. We're at a pretty solid spot of health here at the moment. I probably don't want to, what are the words I'm looking for? Don't want a fulminant prism, because I think it'll be a little too noisy. Do you know what? I think I will step into my own clouds here. Never mind, that was a mistake. What am I doing with my life? Friends again? Friends again. Hell yeah, brother. Head that direction, please. Ooh, we have fun here. Little bit closer of a call than I would like. Again, improper management of our magic pool is going to become a reoccurring theme. I have been spoiled by genie runs. Oh, how I miss just using my own life force to fuel destructive magics instead of having another thing to kind of keep in mind here, because if streaming has taught me anything about myself, it's that I'm not always so great at juggling too many of these concepts in my brain, at least when it comes to keeping ourselves safe. So we'll see how it goes, I guess, is what all that boils down to. Long-winded way of saying we'll see how it goes. As I sipped a bit too aggressively there, fortunately not to the point where I'm leaking out all over myself, but definitely to the point where I've gone my mustache a little bit more soaked than it normally is. And let's just jump right back into it. Again, if we could face off against less poison-resistant monsters, that would be pretty swell in my books. I will pick up this cloak right away. I guess we're up to 300 gold right now, so we actually could arguably head back to Orc to pick up some of the items we left behind there. There was a magical cloak that I was eyeballing and looked pretty good. Also just ID'd 4 scrolls of blinking, so speaking of pretty good, that's fantastic. Scrolls of fog, again, would have been nice to have earlier when we were coming across a few of our orc priest friends, but I'm not going to look this gift horse in the mouth, and I'm still very, very happy to see that at the moment. Scrolls of butterflies, more ID even. Oh, DCSS, how you flatter me so, or you spoil me so, I guess is more accurate. Oh, you are not affected by poison. I'm guessing you're very resistant to cold. Not just resistant, but still not great by any means. We do have cold resistance at least, so some amount of capability in the department of dealing with fog bodies here. Does also confirm, I guess, we might as well mention explicitly that we do have swamp. I shouldn't have said anything. I basically cursed ourselves to guarantee both swamp and snake, but it is what it is, and hey, at the very least, swamp might give us a taste of vengeance here for our formicid that unfortunately was not able to make it out of the branch in one piece. So here's to you, Ant. Good old elf will bring honor to your family's name once more. At least, try to. We'll see how it goes. And that should be most of this floor taken care of. Not too bad besides the one near-death experience. And at the end of the day, it wasn't even that near-death of an experience, but regardless, not too shabby. Watch out for them mangroves. No kidding. It's the gosh darn shamblers that get to me, you know? But this time around, we have a decent amount of stuff to work with. I guess maybe the bog bodies are a bit of an indicator that we aren't quite as happy as we could be. This is where it would have been nice to potentially be dabbling more in the fire side, because swamp is very easily taken care of with a bit of fire magic. But at least the Spriggans and Hornets, which were also big troublemakers on that previous run, won't be such an issue with OTR and Ignite Poison. And then what else do we have? I mean, Fulminant Prism, at the end of the day, is just a delete all. So maybe it'll be okay. Maybe, just maybe. Regardless, we don't have to worry about that quite at this moment. That's layer 3 done and dusted, so we'll just keep on keeping on. Schmoove with the music here. And you know what, if we poison up our wyvern buddy a wee bit in the background while we take care of the rest of these poison resistant sons of guns rather, that is wonderful. And we'll keep just slowly but surely IDing stuff as we find the scrolls throughout our journey. And ooh, look at that, we've already hit all the caps we had set. This might actually mean Fridge is ready to go, maybe. So let's turn on Evo, because it's still nice and low, so it will rank up very quickly. Let's check in. Holy moly, Fridge is very doable. So I guess we'll probably want to test that out in the near future here. That at least gives us very solid recourse against those aforementioned poison resistant enemies, so wonderful. Love to see that. And I guess it is about damn time. But more so, it's about time to start looking into where we want to go next. I mean, Vile Clutch we could get online fairly quickly. We don't have the spell slots for it right now, but that's fine. Do I just aim for Ignition as our next big pie in the sky, as we framed it last time? Oh me, oh my. I'm guessing we're quite a ways away from that polar vortex, so it could be something to be said for Ignition. Again, it will pair nicely with Fridge for taking care of our clumped up enemies moving forward. Do I want to decide now? Is this just a decision that we foist off onto future Torinski? And just don't worry about it for now, and just train some of our auxiliary things, get some utility, you know, even a little bit of armor training. Could give some tiny amount of AC, dodging more likely to be useful. Fighting, definitely at some point we'll need to come back on. Oh me, oh my, decisions, and more decisions, unfortunately. It's almost like strategy and tactics are an integral part about this game. Who knew? But for the time being, let's not worry about it. A bit of Evo is all we need, right folks? Can train that up. I'm sure it will not instantly hit 8. Though unfortunately, I don't have much confidence in that belief. But regardless, we'll keep on schmoovin' for the moment here. Let's finish off layer 4 at the very least. Hello, Froggy Sir. Actually, what I should be doing is testing out some Fridge action here. Except not really against you, unfortunately. In fact, that's probably foolish of me to even let them get close, but here we go. It's not an efficient method of dealing with one single enemy, but pretty nice. Fridge will do very, very well in Snake. So in fact, Snake is probably going to be the next target for us after we finish off our initial exploration, I guess, into Lair here. So that will very likely be carried largely by Fridge, keeping everyone nice and slow. Amulet of the Acrobat, no thank you. And that is wonderful. I think we will dip down to Layer 5. Again, sometimes we like to leave this off until we're slightly more powerful, but this very moment in time, I'm starting to fall back into the sweet, sweet embrace of hubris. For better, or more accurately, for worse. But that is fine. A little bit of confidence is good. Don't want to let it get to the state of egotistical, mind you, but a bit of confidence in our ability to take care of business here, not too bad. Make enough confidence in our ability to take care of business to make even Bachman Turner Overdrive blush. And poison you kiddos up just in time to get you a little bit blasted. Fantastic. Coming down the stairs to this son of a gun, I knew would probably mite them, which is not great, but fortunately did not haste them, or did not let them get a couple attacks and get the haste part of their bloodlust as well, so not too bad whatsoever. But let's fridge up, and fridge up some more. Beautiful. Is definitely a fairly decent Hydra killer. Ooh, and there's the acquirement scroll that I've been kind of secretly fishing for in the background. That's why I was IDing all of my single stack scrolls. I was kind of hoping for a little bit of a gambla here, or gamba, as the kids say. At least some of them. Another harm hat. You trying to tell me something, DCSS? I mean, positive energy and regen are both very nice. Don't get me wrong. Harm hat is interesting on a deep elf. We're getting closer and closer to threading that fine line of being enough of a blaster caster that nothing will ever touch us. So where's the harm, if you will, in using this ego? A hearty har har. But I am willing to bet that is not the right call, especially when it's me who's piloting the run here, and that could very quickly go horribly wrong. We do have the excursus on disjunct open graves. My favorite book. How'd you get into the game? Unfortunately, not great for us. I mean, Summon Forest is kind of interesting as we get ready to head into Swamp. I also feel like I've suddenly been hit by a wave of fatigue, so if you see me rubbing my eyes a bunch, that would be why. Though I did just revisit, there's a video that I saw quite a few years ago for the first time, and every once in a while it crops back up. And you might have seen it yourself before, where they took a scan, I believe it's some kind of x-ray scan, of somebody's face when you rub your eyes. And essentially the way it works, it might be an MRI, and it highlights liquid in a meaningful way. So the eyeballs themselves, because they're largely fluid filled, show up very distinctly on it. And it is horrifying. When you rub your eyes like this, the amount of formation or malformation of the actual sphere that you incur is gross. Like many things with the human body, when you boil it down and actually see it in action, it is terrifying to think that we do that constantly, and it can't be good for you. I mean, to a certain extent, they bounce back. It's not the end of the world, but yikes. If you haven't seen it and don't mind a little bit of, I guess, minor body horror would be where I'd classify that. If recommend check it out because it is fascinating. Again, it's both a testament to the fragility of the human body and the resilience at the end of the day. Because if you can malform, again, there's a word at the back of my brain that I'm scrambling to actually use in this context that's just not making it quite to even the tip of my tongue, much less actually vocalized. But regardless, if eyes can go through that level of disformation, that's not a word. Oh no, now I'm stalling out because I'm stuck on actually trying to come up with it. And still be able to function, I guess. Let's just bail out of that hole before we dig ourselves deeper into it. It's very impressive. If you were able to follow that sentence as I jump through multiple tangents, so that's always good. Should also, if you'll give me but a moment here, I'm going to text my partner and just let them know, or remind, you feed. Oops. Make sure dog is getting fed here this evening, and I guess to put all of my random tangents aside and refocus our attentions to the dungeon itself, I'm probably just going to take the gold here. We do have a few different things kind of residing in various shops throughout the dungeon that we are interested in picking up. A demon trident is kind of interesting in its own right, but again, I'm aiming to be more of a staff man myself, being honest, so maybe I just take the gold. Whoa, take the money and run. And we can even double check. That does bring us to being able to afford gloves, boots, and cloak. It's not bad. It's definitely not bad. Let's do it. Let's take a little bit of a detour. You son of a gun. I forgot I left you here. Well, fortunately, we are much, much stronger than we were the first time we faced you, my friend. So we'll just blast you into the next plane of existence. Perfect. And that's a nice little boost AC. Not to mention that we should be getting a couple more of the same here if we're fortunate. Head down to Orc and pick up gloves and cloak. Beautiful. In fact, I'm pretty happy to just drop our unenchanted one. I do like that our gloves and boots currently match. Hopefully that's still the case as we upgrade. Not so much. That's a striking blue, I think is the nice way to phrase my thoughts on the matter. But back to lair we go.